How can our doctors be doctors if they don't get the supplies they need to treat us?
Another supply chain shortage, this one hitting patients who need important blood work.
A celebration of culture in Longmont this afternoon. The city held its first ever Nepali event.
And we sound like a broken record because we are breaking records. Another day of triple digits here in Denver.
We were waiting for it to happen, and then it happened. For the second day in a row, we have made it to 100 degrees. And as you can see on our thermometer in the 9 News backyard there, this is only the 14th time ever that we have seen back-to-back 100-degree plus days.
It is not just Colorado. More than 30 million people across the country are under heat alerts today, meaning the temperatures starting in the 90s, climbing into the triple digits, reaching as high as 117 degrees in some parts of the Southwest.
Which makes it hard to say that we've sent meteorologist Lauren Robinson to the backyard to brave the heat back there. Sorry about that.
Well, I'll say the good news about today is at least all of that cloud cover has really started to fill in over Denver, so I don't have that sun beaming down on me like I did yesterday afternoon. Still very warm outside, but temperatures will start to cool a bit as the cloud cover really picks up and we continue to see those scattered showers and storms across the state. Right now, we take a look at our highs so far today. This is only showing Denver at 99 degrees, but this is different from the official temperature reading that we'll get at DIA, which is reading 100 for our high. Anyway, we got a lot warmer further northeast there, 108 in Ray. You can see 70s and 80s even in the high country, mid-90s across the western slope. Now, as we take a live look over downtown, we're still mostly dry around Denver, but we're going to watch for some few light showers to move through this area. Other areas are seeing those very scattered storms. We're still at 95 degrees, so even with that cloud cover and those scattered showers pushing through, we're still very hot. Winds are coming in from the northwest at around 15 miles per hour, but as we take a look at current temperatures across the state, we're still at 95 here in Denver. Most of the Front Range and Eastern Plains either in the mid to upper 90s. We're still seeing triple digits further east. Some areas have cooled into the upper 80s. We see 50s, 60s, and 70s right now in the high country and low 90s across the western slope. Now, we have a very active HD Doppler radar. Most of this falling in the high country, though. So we're going to continue to watch for maybe a few raindrops to move into Denver. I think I just felt one or two myself, but we're not expecting anything too heavy here. The heavier stuff is going to be further northeast where we do have that marginal risk for severe weather. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:30 this afternoon, so that's going to be near Iliff as you make your way toward the far northeastern corner of Colorado. Outside of that, everything clears out overnight as what we're used to this time of year. Those lows in the mid-60s. Tomorrow we're cooled down a bit. We won't be anywhere near the triple-digit heat that we saw today and yesterday. We'll be maxing out at around 84 degrees here in Denver, and that's going to be after a cool front pushes into the area. With that cool front, yes, we'll see cooler temperatures, but we'll also see more widespread, stronger storms. So I'll have details on all of that and the few more raindrops that I'm seeing back here in the 9 News backyard. So that's something just to be aware of. I'll have those details just ahead.
All right, Lauren, thank you. A 3-year-old girl in Dacono is dead after a driver hit her. This happened last night around 8 o'clock on Sherman Drive. Police say that someone in that area and an officer tried to save her with CPR, but she died at the hospital. Police say the driver stayed on the scene and is cooperating with police as they look into what happened.
Vail police are trying to learn more about a body they found in Gore Creek. Police say she was 40 years old, not from this area. Crews found her body yesterday morning near the East Vail Park and Ride lot at Bighorn Road. If you know anything, please call Vail Police.
Westminster Police want you to be aware of 3 incidents of attempted sexual assault in the past week, all within the same area. That area is from 120th to 124th between Huron and I-25. Police say on Monday, a woman was touched from behind near 123rd and Bannock. 4 days later, another woman reported she was attacked from behind in that same area. The next day, a man was seen touching himself inappropriately on an apartment balcony that didn't belong to him. Suspect is described as a Hispanic man in his 20s, about 5'5" to 5'7", with a medium build. Police say he has a faded haircut, was last seen wearing a bandana. Police recommend that if you're in that area, you walk in a pair. If you know anything about this man, call Westminster Police.
On Wednesday, the community will honor volunteer firefighter John Jaros. He was the assistant fire chief with the Glen Haven Fire Department in Larimer County. He died last month in a shooting on I-70. Court records say he was shot by an alleged street racer. Jaros' wife and children were in that vehicle at the same time this happened. They survived the shooting. His service is scheduled at 2 o'clock on Wednesday at the Estes Park Fairgrounds. The fire department says everyone is welcome to attend.
The BA.5 variant is now the dominant COVID-19 subvariant in the U.S. The CDC says it makes up more than half of the cases in the country. It's also considered the most contagious version of the virus yet. Even people who've gotten boosters are still getting it. More than 2 years into the pandemic, we are still seeing all kinds of supply chain shortages, like basic blood tests, which are still in short supply.
9 News reporter Cole Sullivan shows us how this is causing some issues for cancer patients.
Sally Inman knows how to fight.
4.5 months of chemo, a double mastectomy with no reconstruction, and then I think it was 5 to 6 weeks of radiation. And here I sit.
After 9 years in remission, she's ready to go to battle again if her cancer returns.
You don't give up. At least I don't.
But to fight, she needs to know if it's back. Late last month, she went to her regular checkup to evaluate her tumor markers and complete blood count, or CBC.
And I saw my tumor markers were there and they had gone up. So I was waiting for my CBC.
She never got the blood count results.
And they sent me back a message saying that they only did the tumor markers because there's a nationwide shortage on tubes, blood tubes. The air stopped. I didn't know, for a moment, it was like, what?
Really ties our hands, because when we're making clinical decisions, we rely very, very heavily on what that blood test looks like in order to make decisions about care.
9 Health expert Dr. Pyle Coley says the now year-long shortage of basic blood collection tubes hurts doctors trying to make up for screening appointments missed during the pandemic.
But the impact is really going to be felt in those people who are well that we want to keep well.
She says it isn't impacting emergency care, but regular tests for kidney function, medication dosing, and cancer screening for patients like Sally Inman.
Once again, the doctors don't have the supplies they need to treat people.
So for now, she stays home, ready to fight again if the tests ever tell her she must.
I'm just going to live each day to the best of my ability.
Dr. Coley says there are other basic medical tools in short supply as well. She says it should be a wake-up call for the FDA, but patients should still plan on going to their regular appointments.
It's so interesting to me because during the pandemic, we heard doctors over and over again saying, don't delay these medical tests, don't delay getting into your doctor. Now it's tough to get those tests because of the shortage.
Yeah, it's tough to get those, and one of the things Dr. Coley said was that this shortage has been so long lasting, it's really making an impact on folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Cole, thank you. Tomorrow, former Bronco Von Miller will be back in Denver. He's holding a fundraiser for his foundation, Von's Vision, which provides low-income students with eye care. The event is called A Night to Take Flight, playing off of Miller's passion for aviation and for exotic cars. It'll be at Jet Links Aviation in Centennial, starts at 6:30. Other Broncos will be there as well, including Justin Simmons, Pat Surtain, and Cortland Sutton.